On a November morning in 1981, two people searching for firewood near Sugar Loaf Mountain in Riverside County, California, found something they would never forget. Skeletal remains, half exposed in a shallow grave. The body had been there long enough that there was almost nothing left to work with. Investigators recovered what they could. They searched their records for missing persons. They asked questions, followed leads, and eventually reached a wall. The woman in the grave had no name. She had no identity. For 44 years, she was listed simply as an unidentified homicide victim, a case number, a file, a set of bones in a storage room that nobody could match to a person. Her name was Thelma Gaston. She was 80 years old. She was worth $20 million. And the man who killed her had been sitting in a California prison for most of those 44 years. Thelma had vanished on June 28, 1981, the summer before her remains were found. She was a real estate investor, self-made, sharp-minded, the kind of woman who had built a fortune through decades of work. Her companion at the time was a man named Lawrence Remsen, then 39 years old. When Thelma went missing, Remsen told people she had gone away. He produced letters, forged letters, prosecutors would later argue, naming him as the person who would control her estate. He was positioning himself to inherit $20 million. He didn't get far. Within a year, authorities had enough to charge him: murder, forgery, grand theft. He was tried, convicted, and sentenced to life in prison. Justice, in that sense, was served. But the woman in the grave still had no name. The case haunted investigators for decades. Thelma Gaston had been killed, her killer punished, but she herself remained unknown, a victim without an identity, without a record of what had happened to her, without anyone who could say, "This is her, this is where she rests." In November 2024, the Riverside Cold Case Homicide Team made a decision. They exhumed the remains and sent DNA samples to a forensic laboratory called Othram, a company in Texas that specializes in extracting usable genetic information from old, degraded samples using a process called forensic-grade genome sequencing. Scientists developed a full DNA profile. Forensic genetic genealogy researchers built a family tree from public databases, tracing living relatives, narrowing possibilities, following branches until only one name remained. In May 2026, dental records confirmed it. The woman in that shallow grave was Thelma Gaston. After 44 years, she had a name again. Lawrence Remsen is 83 years old. He is serving his life sentence at the California Institution for Men in Chino. He was denied parole in July 2025. His next hearing is scheduled for 2028. He has known her name the entire time. There is something in this case that stays with you, not just the crime, but the silence. A woman was killed for her money, her murderer caught and convicted, and yet for 4.5 decades the world did not know who she was. Justice was done, but not completely. Not until a name was returned to the bones. Now it has been. Thelma Gaston, 80 years old, worth $20 million, gone on a summer day in 1981, found at last in 2026. She has her name back. It took 44 years, but she has it.